Happy Saturday, everybody. So, today is July the 4th, 2026, and some of you are out here celebrating the 4th of July. So, please stay safe and also try to stay cool because I know in certain regions of the United States and everywhere is a little hot outside. Um, So the title of this live is You Can Live in a Free Country. And I put air quote free country because that's just my opinion, and still not feel free. And I'm looking over here a little bit because I want to stay on track because y'all know I feel like I ramble. But everyone's discussing on Facebook. You see all these red, white, and blue. You see everything, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you see everyone talking about 250 years of independence, and it made me examine what freedom looks like for me. And based upon that, I just thought I'd come up here and kick it with social media lives platforms and just talk about it and just get some of y'all input and dialogue based upon that, because the truth of the matter is that freedom looks different for each and everybody. And there's so many people out here celebrating today based upon a country's uh, thoughts around being free when they are in their own personal prison or the lack of their own personal freedom within themselves. And today, for some people, it happens to fall on a Saturday. So some people don't work on Saturdays anyway. But today is just the day that people, in my opinion, can get together, cook out, hang out, have some fun, and at the end of the day, there'll be some fireworks. But there's so many people that are having fireworks in their own home. There are so many people that, let me pose it to you this way. Let's say you're one of those people that's cooking out today, and you waited to the last minute to go get the things that you're going to go grill today. When you went to the store yesterday, the grocery store yesterday, what did you see? Did you go through the hot dog bun lines and be like, dang, I remember when I can get a pack for 99 cents? Did you go to the hot diggity dog lines and look at the packs of the hot dogs and be like, yeah, where's the sale? Where's the sale for the Oscar Mayer? Where's the scale? Did you go to, some of y'all have gas and propane grills. Did you go to get your gas and your propane for your grills? Tell how good I cook out and be like, oh my God, it's costing too much money. The reality of it is that there was some sacrifices that some people made in order to celebrate today, that financially they are looking forward to the next 2 weeks to get paid to reimburse their bank account for the amount of money that they spent yesterday to prepare for today to play. And today, as I sit back and I'm like, Dad, there's people out here looking forward to today, but yet they're not free within themselves. I mean, the truth of the matter is, I can only speak for myself. There was times that I was a prisoner in my own home. That's another story, another testimony. But there was. But bigger yet, what about the prison of your own mind and not being free there in order to have peace? See, when I got laid off 10 years ago, I found myself from 800 credit score, two houses, two cars, living the best life, to as the years went on after that, I didn't know what freedom was. It was madness. So when people were like, cook out, let's go celebrate, I'm like, let me get a doggy bag. I need to come back home and fill my refrigerator up. I'm just being real. There are things that 10 years ago in 2016, we're in 2026. The cost of living has changed so much. And it was hard to sit back today as I'm sitting here and I'm supposed to be working on quotes. I'm supposed to be doing some other things and activities around my own house, not celebrating, but vacuuming and stuff like that, because I'm not doing this day like other people do it. But I couldn't really move past the feeling of freedom. There's so many freaking people out here right now that's fighting for time freedom, personal freedom, and financial freedom right now. And a firework is not going to resolve anything. It's going to allow somebody to take a moment and just not have the burdens of their true situations in front of them. But in our reality, you guys, this is madness. Society has the realization is external freedom means very little when you're not free internally, when you're not free based upon your everyday living. If you have to wonder if your lights are going to get cut off, that's not freedom. If you have to wonder, do I pay this bill or pay this bill and robbing Peter to pay Paul, that's not freedom. If you're going to work and you're caring for a family member and you're in fear that if you miss one more day, you're going to get terminated because of attendance policy, that's not freedom. Especially when you don't have a backup plan, that's not freedom. A backup plan, a side plan, or a thought or a dream, that is not freedom. And I just couldn't get past my own mental state today of there's so many people that are enjoying today, and I want them to enjoy the day. I am not a Debbie Downer, you guys. I really am not. But I just want to shed the light of the fact that work on the freeness internally. Work on the personal freedom. Work on your time freedom. What are you doing to make sure that you can stop living paycheck for paycheck? What are you doing to prevent yourself from getting that disconnect notice? What are you doing? What are you adding to your life? Because sometimes when we come down to certain holidays and certain things, we're making sacrifices in order to be part of the Joneses when we don't have a J in our name, and missing the true sense of I need to be free within. I need to work on my personal freedom. I need to find time freedom. And as for somebody who has rebuilt their life from where it used to be and still rebuilding my life to where I want it to be, these are the things that I think about. These are the things that I think about while other people are worrying about what time is the fireworks. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm thinking about. It's like, how can I help somebody else see that rebuilding your life, no matter how it may not seem easy, it can get easier over the time when you have the right resources available to you. And sometimes people don't want to talk about those resources because they're fearful and they're scared that somebody may laugh at them. It may not make sense to somebody else, but it's not your job to make sure that somebody agrees with you. It's just your job is sharing. Just like we shared where the next cookout's going to be today. Just like we shared um, the sale on the hot dog packs. Just like we shared, where you can get that charcoal at. The same thing we can share about how we can help each other find their own freedoms. Find their own freedoms. Entrepreneurship sounds so scary when you're used to clocking in and clocking out for someone else. It when I started my cleaning business, it was definitely scary to say, okay, I got to think of the pricing. I have to control this variable when it goes wrong. I have to pay for this extra expense if I make a mistake called liability insurance. I got to do that. It was so much easier clocking it for somebody else. It really was. But until I fell victim to a layoff, until I fell victim to my own demise based upon bad decisions after my layoff, and then my credit score started to drop, and then my bills started to get behind because now I done used those zero balance credit cards in order to now continue to try to live free, but I was just putting myself in front of bondage. Hey, it it was easier to work for someone else. It really was. But once I got a hang of it, once I started researching, once I began to say, okay, you can try and you can fail and you can self-correct, you can explain, you can apologize, you can keep moving. And as things got easier, I began to see how freeing it was for me not to personally work for someone else. And hindsight, as they say, is always 2020. But the thought of it was, what if I could have had skill sets or abilities to be able to utilize alongside that said employment to set myself up for future ease later on in life? Business connections can do that, you guys. And it doesn't have to be complex. Cleaning a residential home, cleaning a home takes time away from your schedule, unless you're going to do it on the weekends, right? Be a weekend warrior. But there's other ways to obtain income outside of clocking in to help you alongside what you're already doing so that it can help you feel free when time is needed. It really is. And I wish that for somebody, because somebody's sitting home right now wishing they could go to a cookout, but they don't have gas money to get there. Somebody's sitting at home right now wishing they could cook out, but they couldn't afford a grill. Somebody's wishing that they could go to a cookout, but don't even have money to pay their rent or their mortgage. They're not free. They're not free. There's somebody who slept on the street because they didn't have a home. So I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time celebrating today. I really am. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but it's the truth. Because there's so many people out here looking for personal freedom and time freedom and financial freedom right now, that to celebrate a free country when they're not free themselves and we still aren't free. I'm not 100% free. God knows I'm so thankful that this business has provided me time freedom. I no longer work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day in my residential cleaning business. Being a travel business owner has afforded me the opportunity that I only have to clean houses 4 days out of the month, and I am good with that. I get the opportunity to assist other people in the freedoms that this business has offered me. Because, yes, being a residential cleaner did have its perks. But when my family became my priority versus being a assistance to somebody else, and then having the luxury of the fact that this was my business versus somebody else's, I stepped back. I stepped back at the risk of going backwards. I stepped back at the risk of seeing the financial freedom that I was obtaining back that I lost from layoff disappearing again. And it was worth it for me because money comes and money goes, but family, if you ever lost a loved one, when that family member is gone, all you have is the memories. You can wish and want and all that. Unfortunately, they're not coming back. I live with the pain every day of not having my daddy here with me. But money, you could you could take 100 pennies, go to the gas station, get a lottery ticket, and you may win something. You may. So money can come and go. So what more is it that you can look for when it comes down to freedoms? Is it just the external freedom of the USA? Or is it more important the freedom that you have with yourself, that you can walk around your home and say, I got this? And if you can't say you got it, what do you need to help you get there? More money? More money. How are you going to get that more money? Do you have a working vehicle that you can sign up to DoorDash or Lyft in order to make that said money? Are you skilled at crafts that you can make something and put it on Etsy or go to a vending event and sell it to make more money? Are you in that position to do so? Or are you creative with the camera and doing all these things? Do you have a big following on social media that you can become that digital content creator that you can get monies off of that? Is that what you can do? So many people are scared about multi-level marketing businesses when they're legitimate businesses out here that gives you the flexibility that you can earn money. And they're so freaking scared of it because of the taboo mindset that other people have. But I implore you on this 4th of July, as you celebrate the free country, that you look into celebrating yourself and becoming free. I, as the kids say, double dare and triple dare you. While you're sitting at the cookout scrolling on your phone, I double dare you to look at multi-level marketing companies. I double dare you to do that. I double dare you to do that to see how much money people can make in that industry and the freedoms behind it. There's so many different kinds. There's health and wellness, there's financial, there's legal, there's insurance, even realtors. There's a real estate component of multi-level marketing now. I personally am in the travel industry. And all and it's so simple. This is the thing that gets me. People like multi-level marketing. It is a referral program. How much Okay, let me calm down. How often do you go to a restaurant and you eat a fantastic meal? And then while you're eating the meal, you tell somebody, hey, Nicole, you tell somebody, ooh, this tastes good. You need to go to this and that restaurant. How often do you do that? If you've done it, you've done a form of network marketing. How often have you had work done in your home and then a friend of yours say, I got this plumbing issue, I need a plumber, and you told them about a plumber? That's referral marketing. That is a form of you sharing something and giving it to somebody and them being able to use it as a resource. There's freedoms in that, you guys. There is freedoms in that. And yes, Nicole, a lot. And people are missing out. They think, and what? Oh, Lord. Oh, that's what happened. I was like, why do I hear myself talking? It's because I got 520 tabs open. And I was like, okay. Anyway, I digress. I am tripping. That looks, I was like, I'm okay. Come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was talking about the freedoms in referral programs. And I know for me, with my travel, my cleaning business, replacing a vacuum almost every 3 weeks. When my mom got sick and she moved in, and I needed to take her back and forth to the doctor's office, and I could not afford getting another job with the embarrassment of getting fired later. I it just wasn't going to happen. And when I found out that being a travel agent, the startup cost was less than the vacuums I was buying every other month, it made sense to me. And that's something that people don't get. Business ownership does not have to cost a lot of money. You don't have to have a brick and mortar. That is the great thing about these companies. And I could list them, look them up. There's health and wellness, legal, financial, and travel. There's so many. But the startup cost is so minimal. In addition to the fact, everybody's thinking about, oh, they got to keep all these products in their home. And that when you broke, don't make no daggone sense to me. If you already struggling to feed yourself, right time, Freedom Nicole. If you already struggling to feed yourself, how in the world are you going to buy all these products and keep it in your house and dish it out? That didn't make sense to me. And I guess that's how some people get so scared when you start talking. But the business of travel, there's no things that you got to keep in your house. You don't have to keep no catalogs in your house. Everything's online. And people are doing it anyway. Project to be a $15 trillion business. People are doing it anyway. I remember I got my passport right before COVID. And my broke self, because remember, I wasn't even working, but I had a dream. I was like, I'm going everywhere. And I had to plot it out. That little bit of severance I had left was going to plot. I was already underwater with credit card debt. Why not get into more debt? I was going everywhere. And I wasn't even in travel business. That was my mind. And then um COVID happened, the pandemic happened. And people were getting so stir crazy in the house, they were finding ways to still travel. So our business has been in the business for over 11. You can literally, Nicole said you can literally build an online travel anywhere around. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anywhere around the world. Anywhere. I know our company alone is in more than 20 countries. People going everywhere, anywhere, all the time. It's not going nowhere. Travel is not a fad. If anything, it's going to continue to grow because there's more places for people to see. I've read somewhere that some of these other cruise companies are starting to have additional private islands that's going to be built to bring more attraction. So it is a phenomenal experience to be in, and it's freeing within itself. I don't know about y'all, but when y'all get in have any of y'all been on a plane before? And the plane takes off, and as it takes off, you're fortunate enough to have a window seat, and then you open up the window and you look down, and that moment of seeing the 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 land down and the houses down being so small, and then you look up and you see the clouds at a whole nother perspective. That is freeing. Yeah, Nicole, that's freeing. Can't get no better than that. Or have y'all ever been to an island? I'm in Virginia, right? And our beach water, I ain't gonna talk bad about my state. It's not nice to do so. But go to the beach in Virginia Beach and then go to the Bahamas water, go to Jamaica's water, go to Turks and Caicos water, just be on a cruise ship and look back through the window while you got nothing else but to look at water. That water's different and it's freeing. It is so relaxing and enjoyable to be in a position to see that. And that's that personal freedom that money can't buy. That personal freedom that you could write in a journal and go back and look at it and smile later, and you can still feel that experience. So yeah, um, I woke up on one. I did. I did. I woke up on one because when people say, "Oh, you working today?" Hell yeah, I'm working today. Why not? It's Saturday. It's another day that I'm laying and living. I got work to do. It ain't time to be outside. I got big dreams. And I got clients that have big dreams. I got clients that want to celebrate life. I got clients who want to live free through their time off and have some personal travel. You guys, I just challenge you all as I get ready to end my little soapbox and my little tangent today about being in this free country, air quote free. Free yourself. Do the thing that needs to be done in order to get yourself free. May it be free out of debt. Yes, another day to make money. May it be free out of debt. May it be free out of the prison of your mind. May it be free from that relationship. May it be, get your daggone self free. And if you don't have a vehicle in order to help yourself get free, reach out to me. Information is free. Now, that I can tell you, information is free on the glorious internet and books at the library. Information is free. So get the information. As we scroll and find the next recipe online, let's get some information on how we can put money in our pocket. Let's get the information on how to get that money in order that the next time you want to do a cookout, you ain't sweating about how much the hot dog buns cost. You ain't sweating about how much the propane costs. You're not sweating about, because it doesn't matter, because you've gotten that financial freedom or you're working towards it. That's all I ask about. That's all I care about. I care about someone else not being in a prison of their own bank account like I was. I care about someone else not being ignorant of the fact of the opportunities that's available to them, because nobody gonna tell their A that they got options. That's what's important to me. Because if my sister girl didn't call me up when I was figuring out how to not backpedal and get myself out of the situation as I do the right thing for my family, if she didn't tell me about the opportunity of having a business that didn't have quotas and restraints and obligations and somebody breathing down my neck, and then on top of that, I can travel the world with it, you're welcome, Nicole. If I did not have somebody out there that was there for me for that, I don't know where I would be. House foreclosed on, not having a vehicle, I don't know where I would be. So I feel obligated to tell, to share. Yes, I get on my soapbox. Anybody who want to look through my feed, I talk about it. I talk about it. It's not to, I'm not looking to reach millions. I'm just wanting to reach the people that it needs to be reached. That's all I care about. I care about helping that mom who wants to be present for their children. That's what I care about. I care about that mom because I was that single mom. I was that single mom that dedicated all my time to a company who didn't give two flipping butts about me when they made a decision to lay me off. I was that mom that was working and taking my kids to my parents' house to watch them while I put in overtime and I worked extra hours and I filled in for another manager when that manager couldn't go into work. I was that mom. I was that mom who did that. I was the mom that made sacrifices. I want to help that mom that they don't have to make those sacrifices. They don't have to make the sacrifices in a way that takes them away from their home more than they're already out. If I can help that mom, that's what I want to do. I want to help that dad who wants to be present for his family, who's fearful that if they stay away from their family anymore, that they're not going to have a family. But they need to bring in some more money because they made the decision that they want their wife to stay home or their girlfriend to stay home and watch the kids. I want to be the one to be able to help them. I want to help that person who got laid off like me, who, when they went to their workforce development center and all they pushed was certifications and all they pushed was getting another job, and they did not bother to talk about business ownership, I want to help that person. Because when I got laid off, if they would have told me about business ownership versus me getting in their business, I would have invested my severance into a business. Now, I don't know if it would have been travel. I don't know what it would have been. It could have still been a cleaning business. I don't know what it would have been, but I would have been in business instead of spending my money on the next best thing because I thought I was invincible and I thought that I was still the poster child of getting a job, and then till I wasn't. I want to help that person. I want to help that laid off person. I really do. I want to help that person who's living paycheck to paycheck. All their bills are getting paid. They have food in the house, gas in the car, but they can't go on vacation because they ain't got no extra daggone money. I want to help that person. I want to help that person who is living life and their kid says, "Mommy, can I have a Happy Meal?" And they have to say what I used to say to my kids: let me get a brown bag and put an M on it, because that's as close as we're going to get with a Happy Meal, baby, because mommy got to pay these bills. I want to help that mom, that parent, that household. That's what I want to do by sharing opportunities. Because when you don't have time freedom, you don't got time. That's all I hear. I don't have time. You're right. Because I remember not having time. I remember working mid shift because that was only shift. I was a new manager. I remember that, hey, you got promoted. Now you get stuck with whatever you got. And having small children that my parents basically raised for the most part because I was working all the time. I want to help that person. I want to help that person that the reason why their family is watching their kids is because having daycare expense was more expensive than some of the bills put together in your home. And that the amount of money that you were paying in daycare, you might as well stayed home with the kids and been on social services, which I was. I was on Section 8. I sure was. 26 years ago, I was on it. I did not think about the options. I didn't know what was out there. I want to help that person. I want to help that person that they made a minor mistake in their life. And because of that background check, they can't get traditional employment like they used to outside of the lower end wages job. But they are better than that. They're better than the mistake they made. They're better than the mistake that was put on them, whatever way you want to see it. And then now they are aspiring to have big dreams that cost money, but they can't do it because of the blemish on their background check. I want to help that person. That's who I want to help. That's who I want to reach. I want to reach the person that's rebuilding their life after their 800, 700, 699 credit score was blemished for something that was initially not in their control, and they had to live off their credit cards in order to survive. I want to help that person, because if I could have took that zero balance credit card that I had and just put a small amount on it to start a business, maybe I wouldn't have charged up all them daggone credit cards and then ended up them all being past due, and ended up that creditors was chasing after me until I had to sell my other house in order to get back on my feet. I want to help that person. I want to help that person find that freedom. That freedom. Yeah, I can care less about a cookout. I surely can. I can care less about a firework because I can just sit in my office desk and look tonight and I'll be able to see it. I care about helping someone get out of the fireworks in their own financial, personal, and time jail that they're in. So, yeah, that's what I'm on today. And that's probably where I'm going to sit all day in my own brain. But I had to release it, I had to let it out. So, hopefully, those of you on the platforms that there'll be a replay, you'll see it. And if something resonates with you, let's chop it up. Inbox me. Those are conversations that I like to have. I can care less about what's on TV. I can care less about the next reality TV show. I can care less about the movies. I care about real conversations that find real solutions in order for people to have more time, personal, and financial freedoms. That's what I care about. And that's what I promote. That is what I assist. Be it helping someone start their business or helping someone travel. That's what I'm here for. So, you guys, I feel better. I feel lighter. And I hope you do too. If not today, if not tomorrow, that you get to have your freedom in order to become free. And entrepreneurship, business ownership can do that. And it doesn't have to be big, it can be small. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. But anyway, have a phenomenal day on purpose, you guys.